Thupten Choling means Valley of the Dharma, and it's a very important Buddhist monastery that sits high in the Himalayan mountains near the Tibetan border in the shadow of Mount Everest. Trulsig Rinpoche, who presides here, is an extremely important Lama who fled into Nepal from Tibet many decades ago, and now his congregation has grown to over 900 monks and nuns. 80% of them are Tibetan refugees. Trulsig Rinpoche is a very important person in the world Buddhist community, ranking just after the Dalai Lama. He is in the generation just before the Dalai Lama and is one of the last of the old generation of Tibetan Rinpoches who are reincarnates and who were born and raised and educated in Old Tibet. For these reasons, he is highly venerated. Because of his presence here at Thupten Choling, over 600 Tibetan nuns have emigrated over the years and now live here in order to receive teachings from Rinpoche. It is the nuns of Thupten Choling who are providing the majority of the labor required to build their new monastery. The original monastery built on this site was not well constructed because they believed that they would be allowed to return to Tibet. But Rinpoche is now 80 years old and has decided to build a permanent home here for his legacy. The nuns have made happy and peaceful lives for themselves here in Nepal, unlike their former situation inside Chinese-occupied Tibet. They are universally cheerful, helpful, and very hardworking. This work party is on its way to the stone quarry. The nuns are responsible for digging out and exposing rock from the surrounding hillsides. There are long trails of erosion all around the encampment. But stone is one of the primary resources for the monastery as a building material and to improve their infrastructure. Once they expose the stone, they hire local men to bust the stone into convenient chunks. The more squared ones are destined to be finely chiseled into cornerstones for the new monastery, while the rough ones are destined for the nuns' encampment, where they already have 350 homes, and they are ever expanding. Our reason for being here is to electrify this new monastery. Modernization has meant for so many people in the traditional world that they no longer have to burn animal fat or kerosene for lighting, and the collective public health impact of breathing the fumes and dealing with the greasy soot is a thing of the past. We volunteered to do the electrification here properly to international standards and to train some of the resident monks to maintain it. You may notice the sound of electric planing machines coming from the carpenter's quarters downstairs. And this has been an enormous help to them in finishing out this monastery. And of course, it's only possible because of the electrification of the monastery. Another non-traditional feature of this monastery you may have noticed is the extensive use of concrete rather than wood, which is much too dear in this region. All of these columns, both vertical and horizontal, were poured in wooden mold boxes in place, and this is how they did it. This is medieval construction technique and is how concrete has been poured since the time of the ancient Romans. This is Nawang Chodron, who has been here for 40 years. She hasn't even left the side of the monastery for 32 years. Her time is spent reading and meditating. She teaches deep meditation to the younger nuns. Of course, she is completely devoted to the Dalai Lama. A couple of her distant relatives are recent arrivals from Tibet who've come here to be with Rinpoche. They're very shy and very charming. We've been keeping track of life stories of the nuns over the years, and in 2003, Nancy MacDonald came out to do a baseline public health survey to see what sorts of social or health issues the nuns were dealing with. And by doing so, we get a baseline picture and can see how things change over time. So let's meet one of the nuns now. 33 years old, and she's Sherpa, not Tibetan. She's been here for about 10 years, and as you can see, she's losing a lot of her hair from carrying loads. We met outside of her home, and she and her friends invited me in for tea and conversation. This is her kerosene stove, and next to it on the left is her old-style wood stove. Very inefficient. It's actually more efficient and less expensive for them to flash heat water with kerosene for tea in the afternoons. Here I'm asking her about her wood and kerosene supply. An impoverished nun's life is very hard, and they make do however they can. And here's how they get light in their homes with simple kerosene wick lamps. As you can imagine, it's very hard to read this way. And so one of the main focuses of our organization has been to electrify the monastery and to distribute the electricity equitably so that all of the homes are lighted. And to this end, we installed this rather large cable over the 240-meter distance between the monastery and the hydro generator in the reservoir below. This will allow us to bring the power up the hill so that we can distribute it from the basement of the monastery. The cable is sized such that we have no voltage loss or power drain whatsoever. We can use the full output of the hydro generator at the top of the hill instead of from the bottom of the hill. This is a very significant improvement, that we can light the nuns' homes entirely on the amount of energy we've just gained from the change in wire size. All nuns under 50 who reside here are required to give labor to the monastery, usually seasonal work such as gathering fuel wood in the fall. For this service, the nuns are paid according to the level of donations Rinpoche has received that month, be it $5 or $50. The young nuns rotate monthly to various duties, sometimes kitchen, sometimes carrying loads, and then to rituals and meditation. nuns built 3 such mountains of fuel wood this year. They have found ultimate freedom here in this poor and remote land, but it also requires them to engage in a relentless search for energy and food.